Hey everybody, hey out there. What's up? I want to thank you all for coming in today. That's right, we're back. Back to a normal week here in the bunker. Thank you all for showing up today. And I do have a fun topic to discuss with you, as well as a cheap PVM to show you. Excuse me. Before that, I'm going to get into some things, talk about what's been going on, why I've been gone for a week, what's been going on during that week. And as I do that, please come in, get yourself nice and cozy, grab a hot cup of coffee, and take a sip. Here, cheers to you. Welcome in, everybody. And please, if you don't mind, do start off by hitting that like button for me. It will help out. It will let people know that the show is on this week, because I took a week off last week, and so I don't know how many people are going to show up. I do see a lot of great folks here in the chat already, and I'm going to give you guys some shout outs here in a second. Thank you, Belmont, for coming in today. It's always awesome to see you here, and everybody else. Daniel Gonzalez, thank you for helping me out with a request for the like. Zero Sleep, welcome in, and I'm going to get some more shout outs here in a minute. But yeah, it's been a great little week. I had a chance to take some time off. I also finally came out with a new regular video production, which most of you probably saw, and that was on that amazing little KV9400 television that I got from the estate sale, which most of you would have seen in that video, or on the stream, sorry, and then the video had me getting shocked in it with my best Electro Boom impersonation. And so the views were reflected in that. So we actually got some more views in that than I'd anticipated. So anyway, thank you everybody for coming in. I'm definitely going to hit y'all up with some shout outs here. Let's start. Mega Cards, thank you for coming in. Thank you. I got you guys. Cozy Cathodes, welcome back. Kevin McQuillan, hey there. Black Patron, welcome in. Plate Fork, Nimrats, thank you. Cheers to you. PO17, welcome back. CRT, my friend. That's right, we'll talk about some budget PVMs. Starjammer, welcome in. Hey, Mark Bessert, welcome back. Ronnie S, Starjammer, thank you all for being here. Everybody else, come in, hang out. Get yourself nice and cozy, as I said, and we're gonna get into this awesome budget PVM I've got here. And we'll talk about what's good about it, what's lacking in it, what gives it more value, and I'll tell you how much I got it for. And Belmont's already in the chat saying how much. I can't see my. Let's see. What did you say? How much was that? $200? 20, or is that $20? Sorry, my cursor's in the way. I don't know why it's giving me this thing. I think 20 minutes away. Sorry. 20 minutes away. Well, this was one I bought off eBay. Surprise. It was shipped, actually, while I was out of town. And so here it is, though. I won't, waste any of your time with that, because maybe you'll see a video about that, the unboxing here. But anyway, this one only cost me. Are you ready? How much do you think? This was shipped to me, again, eBay, buy it now price. It was a recycler. I'll tell you all those things. And I actually got it with tax included for $192. And shipping, that was shipping included too. Shipping, packing, which is nuts. Basically nuts. I don't know how this person made any money. Must have made $20, $30 off the transaction or something. And so I saw the price. Actually, it was referred to me from a friend. He said he didn't want to buy it and asked if I would buy it. And I said, well, yeah, for that price, I'll try it. So, yes, that's right. Only the low price of $200. Under $200, sorry. So deals can still be had. We have the hype of, rightfully so, of our friend Roger over at 8-Bit Esquire talking about the CRT being emulated near perfectly by the Retro Take 4K. So rightfully so, you may find a better deal on PVMs right now. I don't know. Maybe some people are trying to sell some extras. Who knows? But I don't think this... See, that's the thing. This is not one that was tested really much. Didn't know it was going to be working. Of course, I knew that. It would probably work based on the pictures. But there's no... yeah, just kidding. Of course. Anyway. This is it. This is it. Cole's not even joining us yet today. I don't know what's going on with him. I hope everybody's having a great morning. Oh, here he comes. I hear him. Watch, he might be coming. Oh, there he goes, right past the door. He's going. Now he's going to go jump in his bed. There he is. Good timing, Cole. Right on cue. Look at that. All I had to do was say his name. He just runs in here. Anyway. You can definitely find these still available on eBay if you're patient and hang out. You don't really know the condition of them, of course, and unless it's really documented, and then if it is, it's going to sell quickly, especially at like this price, like $200 shipped. That's pretty darn low and kind of worth the gamble, because again, if anything would happen to this and it wouldn't start and it was damaged, eBay would refund me the money and I would just be able to file for return through eBay. And thankfully that didn't happen here. So that makes the last two, guys, the last two that have come in have actually survived shipping. This, of course, is probably one of the better deals I've gotten in a few years on eBay. Okay. So we got going here. We're at about, we got a good sized crowd in here. Let's, how's everybody else doing? Huh? You love gambling for CRTs. That's right. Well, that's what it's really all about, is just trying to get a lot of these things. A lot of these things back and service them. So this will eventually get a full restoration and things. But I also want to get into some depths on... A lot of people are talking about the N series. But today we're going to specifically talk about a series... a series of PVMs, the 50 series. Okay, and this is the 13-inch 50 series, because this is a darn good value at PVMs. We'll check out some pricing here. But we're going to go through really the differences in the one I have here, which is a 50 series. And then there are other models. I'm going to show you some pictures of them. And I'm going to show you kind of, some of the characteristics of each. What's the difference between them? Because there are some key characteristics that are different that you should know about. And then we're going to talk about some pricing and what to expect to pay for these. What, the average... I'll talk about my restoration process a little bit more on this set and the costs for that. So you can get a really good idea on specifically this 50 series. Again, great budget PVM. And as I do that, jump into the chat. Feel free to add any insights you may have on budget PVMs that you think are good deals. Or if you've had the opposite happen, where maybe you tried to get a good deal and it didn't really go great. I did have some people, again, on Twitter that showed me some pretty bad things that had happened to them, where they bought PVMs on eBay and, of course, had shipping problems. You know the story there. And, of course, that's always going to happen. I've shown that, too, where I've had just as many shipping problems as I've had good experiences. It's really about 50-50. So you can't really get your hopes up too high, but once it arrives and it's good, it really can be worth the price and the time and the patience, even with shopping on eBay, because somebody's going to buy them. Now, naturally, if you could take advantage of being local to something and picking up that PVM locally. You're going to do much better that way. And you'll be able to save on shipping costs, of course. And that way you can get a little bit better deal. But again, as I said, I got this one for $192. And that's what made me think. I found plenty of 1350s online and even the 54Q. And so I thought, you know, this is an amazing line to talk to you guys about. And it's one that does a lot and that is a good value. And I'll go through why. Okay? And then it actually gives you good differential on each value line and kind of what you can expect, you know, as far as like the top tier, mid tier, and then probably low tier models of this 1350 series. Okay? So with all that being said, that's about a 10-minute introduction here. I hope everybody's been doing awesome. I will let you know that, like, while I've been gone, let's do a little story time. There's a lot going on. I know that probably a lot of you don't care anything about sports or stuff, which is cool. I don't care. I'm not going to waste a lot of your time talking about that. We did have my college that I'm here, JMU, did have college game day a couple weeks back. That was probably after my last, I talked about this a little on the last show. The college game day came here. There was a bunch of cool stuff. And then, of course, last week, I went to back to Tennessee to visit family in the Nashville area. And I went to a Predators game, and that was pretty wild. And on Monday night, and then I went through and I spent a lot of time, like many of you probably did if you're in America, and celebrate Thanksgiving with family members, lots of people. And unfortunately, I caught a head cold, and then I had to drive back. Yeah, congratulations, Ronnie. Big win for Michigan fans. I had to drive back home from Tennessee, which normally is about a 7.5 hour drive, and it took, goodness gracious, it took about 2.5 hours longer than normal just because it was bumper to bumper, slow go traffic. And that was all sucky on top of having a cold. And so anyway, I didn't want to miss this show though. And then I had this PVM come in while I was gone, so I had to get this thing unboxed today. But that's what you're looking at is the 1351Q. That's what I've been doing. So that's how my last week was spent. Let's take a look over here at some information. Information time. So do this for me. We're going to get into this discussion on this budget line of PVMs where we're going to start by looking at the service manual, just so I can give you guys a little bit of difference between the one we're looking at, the one I bought, and what the other two, because all three of these models that you see on your screen are different. And I'm going to go through the differences here with you, and we're going to look at them all together. But please, if you can and you haven't already, hit the like button for me so that everybody knows the show's going on today. I appreciate you all. And let's get into it. The 1350 series. This is the 13-minute mark. We're going to timestamp this later on. Look at this. There are three, and you will find these to be different if you are in a different region. You'll find different versions of these. This is specifically the US and Canadian models. All right? There's a Japanese model, and there might be an Australian model. I'm not sure. But this is just the US and Japanese models. We have the 1350, 51Q, and 54Q. Now what you're looking at here is a 1351Q, okay? 1351Q. All right? And that's the one we're going to be talking about more specifically like that, but we're going to look at all three of these models because they all have different feature sets, okay? Specifications. But they will look super similar. They will look almost the same. All right? First off, if you're worried about any kind of support for color systems on composite, do not worry. This supports PAL, CCAM, NTSC, and NTSC 4.43. Okay? And then right under that, we're going to get into the resolution. Yes. Resolution is different. This is one of the big differences here. And I don't know why they left the 50 model out of the specifications here. We'll see if there's another thing that says, I don't believe there's a specification just for the 50. But maybe there is later on down. We'll see. First thing to notice, the high resolution one. The high resolution monitor in this line is the 54Q. It's the 54Q. Okay? So the 1354Q is the best of this line. It has a 600 TV line tube. And then if I go down here, it will also say it right here. The CRT is the C phosphor CRT. STMPC phosphor CRT. Whereas the 51Q and the 50 have a 450 TV line tube. I believe that. I mean, it doesn't say 50 here. We're going to verify that if we can, because I've got a file of a restoration I did on a 50. And we'll look at some things on those on an actual monitor. But this is your TV line count and your resolution. So that higher line count is a higher resolution on the tube. So 600 lines for the 54, 450 for the 1351 and below. And the same thing would go if you had the 19-inch version of this. Okay. A lot of these other things do not matter so much. Now, that's just one of the differences. Let's just slide down this page. And let me see if we can find anything. It doesn't say. It says specifications. Okay, here we go. It actually does have a specifications page just for the 1350. I was wrong. That's good. Like I said, 450, yep. Same tube as the 51Q. Sorry, Cole's already snoring. Right there. He's out. He's out. So this one has the P22 phosphor tube, okay? That's a big difference. So you're going to get, all things considered the same, you're going to get a sharper image on the 54Q. Okay? Now it's not immensely sharper, but it's pretty dark. I mean, it's a little bit of a kick up, okay? Now, let's talk about some other things that are different on the picture. If you look down here, there are different color temperatures available for the 51 and the 54Q. They have different ones. They have a 6500K, 9300K selectable, and then a user one, which you can factory set between 3200K and 100K. Okay? Okay. Lots of K's there. All right? So that's the color temperature that's allowable for this set. Now, if we go down to the 1350, the 1350 only has one color temperature. So you cannot just change the color temperature. Okay? Hey, David, welcome in. Yeah. Good job. See, these are all around the same price. These are really great deals. People are talking about getting. Hey, Snuffer Stuffer, welcome back. So there's a little bit about the differences on the actual visual side of these monitors. So you have three categories. We're already breaking these things down. Three things, okay? Top tier on this list is going to be 54Q, mid tiers 51Q, and then the bottom level on this family is 50. Okay? But that doesn't really say that. Again, this is tiering how and telling you the differences between these three. Whereas all three of these are going to fall under this budget PVM that you can generally find for $200 to $300. All right? So that's what we're talking about mostly, and that's what I want to reiterate here. Now, there's one more big difference between the 50 and the 51 and the 54Q, and that's the inputs. There's going to be a couple of different things on the input on the front board, which I'll show you in a picture file here in a second for the 50. But if we look over just at this PVM, this has a very familiar button board down here that I'm sure a lot of you have seen before. It's got 2 full rows of buttons here. Lots of things you can, these are all input selections right up here, top line, and this is a sync button. And then you have degauss, blue only, underscan, horizontal delay, and a 16:9 mode. And then you have your menu buttons and your up down buttons to select through your menu. That is going to be exactly the same on both the 51 and the 54Q. Okay, same. Nothing's different. But when you get to the 1350, it does not have all those things. And I can show you best with pictures. Okay, this is one of the most recent 1350s I serviced. 50. Okay, and if we look down here, this is a much simpler button board. There is no external sync button. There's no underscan button. There's no delay button. And there's no 16:9 button. Okay? Notice all those are missing. You also do not get, unfortunately, component video support on this 1350. That is another big deal, okay? You don't get component video support on the 50. You get RGB, so that's great, and you get external sync, that's great, but you do not get component video support with that CRT. You do get component video support on the 51Q and the 54Q. So that's additional stuff that you're not getting, unfortunately, with this 50 series. That's why it only says A, B, C, and RGB. You get 2 composite video lines, 1 S video line, and then an RGB with sync. Okay? And then just these couple buttons. So that's what makes this really the entry tier of these 50s, is this basic nature of this CRT. Now again, this is a line that's from the early 90s. So generally speaking, you're going to find these from about 1992 up to 96-ish. Might find them a little bit beyond those years. That's just from the top of my head. But this one's from 94. That's generally speaking when you'll find these. It's from that early 90s period. So it's just analog video, just 240p and just 480i. How we all doing out there? Huh? Is everybody doing wonderful on this Monday? I know we're just getting in here and chatting about some CRTs, but I want to make sure you all are doing great. Alright, so let's buzz through some more photographs here. The back of this CRT, you can tell you only get that RGB input down there and sync. Okay? And there's your other inputs. Nothing else. Let's see when this one was. This was from 95. There you go. Okay. I'm gonna buzz down in this and look through some other photographs. This is again. I'll show you what the inside of one of these looks like. It's gonna look very much the same as the 54. All these look very similar. There might be a couple more components added. There you go. That's how you hook up RGB. There's the neck board. There's the power supply. Right in there. All these have been serviced. This would have been a serviced model. And there you go. It's definitely a good CRT for a starter. And let's do some pricing real quick. Let's see what we can find one of these for. Thanks, Daniel. Actually, let's go to eBay. Okay, let's try and see if there are any Sony PVM. Even, let's just go for it. 1350. So here's one. I mean, this is probably on the highest end you'd want to pay. For one this at least is tested, right? Now this is not, you know, this is what I'm talking about is unserviced, right? Please do not misconstrue that with a serviced set. A serviced set of this would be worth a lot more. But this is the entry. So I would still be, you know, a bit patient before paying $400 for that one, unless I really needed one and really wanted one. But that's not, you know, at least we found one. Let's see if any have sold and what they are selling for or have sold for. Now see, that one was sold. So here we go. Again, $195 plus 30. This is right. Look, there you go. There's two that sold around the same time for about the same price. Right under $250. No, Kevin, actually the OEV143 is a medical monitor, and it is actually a higher end PVM. That one is going to be like the 14M2 MDU. So if you want to know more about that, check that one out. Check out some information on that. I do have videos about that PVM. So there you go. There's two that have sold on here. And that's within the last month. Okay. Let's check out. Of course, we'll probably find mine in here. There's no 51Qs listed. We have a 54Q. Look at this. Is this right? See? I mean, if you wanted to get the high-end one of these, this is, you know, this is about what I'd expect to pay. It looks like it's working pretty good. I mean, it's dirty. But not bad. Not terrible. Make an offer. And $429 or best offer. It's pretty much tested. I would just, you know, I know how to refurbish these. But that's, there you go. That's a 1354Q, which is, again, the top tier of this budget price list. Now let's see what we can find for sold ones. Will that change? Look at this. See? It doesn't show mine. That's funny. No, maybe this is the one I bought. I didn't make an offer. But this might have been the one I bought. Ooh, it was shipped. Yeah, this was it. Because it would be plus the 5% shipping. This is the one I bought. Yeah, this is the one I bought. Sorry. This is the one you're looking at. This is the listing for this one. Okay? Okay. That's the listing for it. And I don't know. Look how beautiful it was. The thing they did was they taped the darn thing in so much tape. It's got sticky tape all over the side of it. So this was listed, and it was originally $160. And then it sat there, and they dropped the price. But this was it. Powered on, 4 parts, it says. Shipping. Shipped very quickly. Power cord included. No additional accessories. That's really all it said. Power tested. And then you see that. Okay? That's what I saw. There you go. All good things. Normal stuff. There's a good look at the input board. So the down, when we were looking at this one, we're looking at this 1350, and I was talking about that input board. It only has input for RGB and sync. And there's no, I forgot about that. Look at that. There's no output for it. But the 54s and the 51Qs can let you output the signal. So you can run daisy chains out of that monitor. Okay? All right. So enough bragging about that great deal. But look at this. I didn't even get the best deal. Here's another one. And these can also sell for a bunch of money. See this one? If you have it tested and looking good, and you do all this right stuff about listing it, you can get a good price. These people know what they're talking about. They sell a lot of monitors. This MCOM Inc. But look at this one. This one went for $110. Goodness gracious. Here's another one. And these are auctions. $120. Here's another one. $200. I mean, that's probably the same. These might be some of the same monitors that just didn't end up getting paid for. They're not breaking the bank. See, this one's been sold a couple times, probably canceled. Look at that. Double sale, right? Anyway. And finally, let's see what the actual 54Q has sold for lately. And again, this is the highest end one. And again, you can get, well, this was a local pickup, okay? So what did I tell you? Local pickup, gonna get you the best deals. This is under $100 buy for the top tier one. Look at that. Someone got a good deal there. Missing the label. Ooh, well, we can see why this one was actually discounted. Look at that. It's a rough shape. No wonder it's local pickup only. Oh, never mind. All right, let's not worry about that one. Well, all right. The 54Q is selling for more on average. This one $450, although it did have best offer. Here's one for $500 or best offer. This one sold for parts $210. So it is one that you can find on eBay and not have it break your bank, as I just showed you. Now, when you go in and you want to get one of these restored, I do the upgrade kit, which is another thing you've noticed probably when you see I'm looking at this. This is this kit right here. This is a save on pack kit right here. Okay, it's got, what has it got? I think it's got like 25 capacitors in it, maybe. I do a little bit more than this kit has, and then service the power supply, service this board, service the neck board. So you would invest, I charge $600 for the restoration package here for patron members to do the full restoration package on this CRT, this line of CRTs pretty much. And so you're talking about, getting a fully restored one, if you get a good deal on one, for $800, $900 pretty easily. A fully restored one, that's a pretty darn good deal. I mean, you can resell those for that much. People will buy restored ones all day if you have the documentation right on them. All right, so that's it. Let's see. Let's go back to this actual PVM. Okay. Yeah. So, sorry. This is it. 600, or not 600. This is the 450 TV line tube. Now, if this was a 54Q, it would have HR written here. That's really the only difference you're going to notice on the front of a 54Q and a 51Q. Okay. Now, if I go into my files and I search deep, dark in the abyss, I may be able to pull up a photo or two of some 54Qs if I can find them. And we can see how those will look in comparison to something like this. So let's just see. What we can do. Let's see what I have in my folders. I'm gonna check. So when I got first off, I got that file with the monitors information from Console Mods wiki. So check that out if you want to find more information on CRTs. And let's see about the drive folder that I have, and I'll see if I can find some 54Q, 1354Q. Let's see. Oh, I do have a 54Q, maybe. Yeah. Alright. Man, it's been a while since I've had one of those in the shop. I don't actually have anything. Let me just show you what that HR will look like on the front. There you go. See? Has this logo up here. HR Trinitron right there. It's from the only difference. And you gotta remember, this is the 50 series, because when you go up beyond this, the M series is the next one after this, then you start to get in a whole different series of monitors. That's not what we're talking about. Mario, I get my capacitors from two places, either Mouser or DigiKey. It just depends. Some of them are in stock. Sometimes I just switch it up between those two companies, but that's where I usually get them. So that's really the only difference between the 54 and the 50. Let's see what... Yeah, there's absolutely nothing else different. And that's the good thing. If you have any issues, it's literally just a different tube in those two monitors between the 50 and the 51Q, I'm sorry, and the 54Q. It's just a different tube. Everything else is like the same. So you can actually use the parts from 51Q and a 54Q if you have an issue. If you have to have parts monitors, if you want to get a couple of them. Yes, Daniel, that's right. The 8-inch series goes 250 TV lines to 450 TV lines on the higher resolution. Oh. There you go. That's what same input board as the 51. And the 51 and 54 are the same exact input boards. Same cap kits. Same everything. This was a couple years back, this restoration. Wow. And a 1351. Alright. The larger ones are going to be the same. The 19-inch are going to follow along the same lines as this, but I've never seen a 1951Q. That's interesting. 1954Q, yes. I don't know if there is a 1950. That's interesting. I've not thought about that. Cole's back to snoring. Have I forgotten anything? Have I forgotten anything? No, they left the HR on there all the way up to the last CRTs. It's on like the L series, PVMs. I'm looking at 3 of them right here. It's on all of them. It just has to be the L4 or the L5. If it's the L2, it won't say it. Or the L1. So there's other... I know a lot of people, again, were saying the N series. You can generally find those really easy for not a lot of money on eBay. Anybody get any good Black Friday deals? Or Cyber Monday deals today? One thing I bought was a bunch of composite video cables from composite video cables for Sega 2-pin out. From Retro Frog and Stone Age Gamer. Alright, let's see what these are going for. N5, 250. I bet this has to have RGB, right? Gosh, I doubt. It really would. No, see, there's 4 available, 2 sold, maybe. You'd have to modify this if you wanted to add RGB. And these are these are all going to be lower end tubes, mind you. That's a good thing about the 50 series. You're going to have an opportunity to get generally a better tube a lot of times. These are actually going for more. Usually. A little more. Some of these will go for less, but those are, again, farther between than the 50 series. It's interesting. If you look at the pricing, which we just did, I mean, the 50 series is selling at a better value kind of than the N series, if you're considering that. Plus, I'll be honest with you, the 50 series is a completely better built PVM than the N series. On the inside, the hardware doesn't really even compare. The N series is a very basic. Let's see if I have anything in my files so I can show you what the inside of an N series looks like. Here, we'll go back to this. Let me see if I can find what the inside of a N series looks like. PVM. Because you're going to tell the difference right away. Alright, here's, well... Okay. This is a little repair that I did, goodness gracious, who knows how long ago. I keep all these files on record. We had a broken board down here. You could see the broken board where it was damaged in shipping, this 20N series. So I just had to run a trace repair and reflow solder on the flyback transformer there. And look at this. This is the 20-inch, which is going to have the same build. But just look at all this empty space. Okay? Now if I go back over here and I pull up the 13, that 51 Q file had the most, I think, had the most pictures. If I show you the inside of this 1351Q, I mean, that's not a very good picture. That's too close. Let's see. There we go. Now I have again, this is the 51Q. Look at this. Alright, you can see all this hardware. It's got a big full-size board down there. There's the power supply on its own. Of course, the neck board. But look at the N series. There is no there is no side power supply. It's literally one board down here. A pretty darn basic board. One board down here. One neck board. And that's really it. It's like a television, to be honest with you. The hardware inside is. It's not very much. And then over here is just so much. Yet, you know, the 50, let's go back. What's this one selling for? I mean, well, you just saw mine. Not much. And even a good one would sell for more. But a bunch of them were selling for, if you're patient, you can find it sometimes. I don't know. Yeah. Plate fork, it's kind of is. It kind of is like a TV chassis inside of a monitor shell. And then the bottom frame down here is plastic. This is all plastic back here where the input board is. It's got tons of plastic in it. The bezel, I think all that's one piece from what I remember. Yeah, the bezel and the bottom are all one solid poured plastic piece, cast plastic. That's it. That's the inside of the 20N. But I think that the 50 series really does pack of a good value as long as you know what you're... Oh yeah. Definitely, Ronnie. Definitely better picture than the regular TV. Hey, Koala. Yeah, there's no question about that. I'm just saying on the comparing the 50 series, and I'll go through some other series later on as I'm going to keep this a series going about value PVMs and things like that, and each line of PVM we can talk about as we go on through that. Okay. Oh, I woke up cold. Oh, I gotta do some stretching. I get clients ask me to repair certain things, and I don't know. I'm not as good at console repair anymore as I used to be, because I just don't do it very much. I just stick to CRTs most of the time right now, because that's what's been working good for me, and I'm the only person that does it full time, really. But I'm sure that's a big issue. All right, so hey, why don't we let's see. Now what I have it on here is just S-Video. What's up, Shadow Mask? That's what you're looking at right now, is S-Video. So this is S-Video. That's why it says NTSC at the bottom. I'm actually not good. That game takes too long for me to sit there and play. Definitely could use some calibration settings. Now the good thing again about the 50 series that makes it a little bit better than the series before it, which is the 40 series, which is another one we'll talk about some other time. The good thing about this one is it actually has a sub menu. So it's got a full menu built into it that you can adjust, and you don't have to get inside of it to make adjustments to the calibration for things most of the time. Okay? Hey, Koalakoa, I saw your tweet about ordering, my goodness, what was it? Holy moly. A bunch of misters, right? Working with kids, that's awesome. Schools and homeschool kids to get them working on that. Just wanted to say that was really cool when I was reading about it. It's awesome. Anyway. If we just, I haven't even looked at, let's look at the calibration on this. We obviously have a warping. Look at that. Woo! We have a little warp there. So this has got a linearity problem. When I see that, I see a linearity problem. Now, and I also see where it's just not as sharp. You can't turn up the sharpness. Actually, that's one of the good things about using S-Video. Oh, that's very cool. Excellent work. Now, let's turn that down so you can see a little better. Now, one of the main reasons we look at this one so much is I want to make sure these colors are pretty even. Turn the brightness up. Man. Ooh. It's not showing through. There we go. Definitely needs some adjustment. There's a bit too much green in the picture. You can see that. See how there's like too much, there's a little bit, I think there's a little bit too much green in the picture. But again, this is also on S-Video, so what you can do is, you can adjust things like phase, and maybe that's it. Phase was turned too far to the right. See, if I look at this color bar and I start adjusting the phase, like watch this. I mean, that's going to highly affect those color bars. And same thing with the chroma. Sorry, that was phase again. See? Look how that chromer just pushes that blue. Hey, it's the man himself. The attorney. The attorney with the most. Joining us. Roger's here. 8-Bit Esquire, what's up? Here, let me add you to give you a... All right, there you go, Roger. 8-Bit Esquire, congratulations. You should be able to pull up with a blue wrench like everybody else. Actually, I'm going to do that too. Anyway, yeah, congratulations, 8-Bit, on that awesome video. What about that? Man, I don't even know. Like, how many doggone, there we go. How many views is that video up to already? Right? You did all that. It just crushed the super amazing documentaries on Michael Jackson and PVMs. Tink 4K is like gold on YouTube, isn't it? Congratulations. I'm sure everybody here saw it. Too bad you already got a wrench. Oh, goodness. So, yeah, that was a great video. I finally sat all the way through it. It was only 20 minutes, though. It's about how long my last one was. So, yeah. Wow. 11,000 views. $13. Oh, good. 8-Bit Esquire, right? Yeah, that you spent, that's the way YouTube will treat you, right? I think that if I go back on my channel statistics, which is pretty funny, if I go back on my channel statistics and I look at the most viewed video I have, that's gonna be, let's see, it's something I put like the least amount of effort into of all like the big videos that I did. And then and I'm not saying that on yours. Yours, you put a ton of obviously work into that one, but I just meant personally, my 200,000 views was on the biggest CRTs in use, and it was me recording with my cell phone. It's this video. It's me recording with my cell phone how working on these two Mitsubishis right here. These two Mitsubishis for the museum of Fine Arts in Houston, right there. I literally just did this video with I had nothing else to, going. This guy had two of these things. Look at this. These were in. Have you guys all seen this video? It's pretty funny. They had these two huge S-video only CRTs. I mean, gigantic 40-inch Mitsubishis. And they were awesome, but they were impossible to get pure. You could never get the purity right on them. And I mean, and this is the most replayed moment, right? Is when I go through. I don't understand it. It's weird. It's like maybe I should just make videos of myself degaussing CRTs. Right? Like literally, what if I just did this? Oh, it's good to see my my old self there, where I had about 25 pounds of extra chunkiness on myself. There it is. See, and you just like, I would make it worse. That's hilarious. That's awesome. Cool. Look, this is like, I don't know, this one. Now, I wish, knowing how good this video, see, look, there's the curator coming in, busting me. I literally had to set my cell phone up just on a table to get this footage. Thankfully, it worked. Didn't have any mic with me. Oh, I got a little better there. So there's, that's pretty much it on them. I really wish I'd have gone in, and oh, look, there's a cool thing at the end. I really wish I'd have gone in and done that with so many more CRTs that he had there. I just didn't have time. I didn't have my GoPro. If I go back, it'll be different. I'll get a lot more footage because that was obviously a recipe to make some people watch. that's 40 inches. That's a little bit big. I can't fit a 36-inch CRT into my house, really, the way it's built. You have a 35-inch? Yeah, it's Mitsubishi. It's a very nice... Both of those TVs are now in a retro video game store in Houston, Texas. So if you're in Houston, Texas, I wish I could remember. As well as a PVM that I restored. The guy bought one of them, who owns it. Cool guy. Watched wrestling with him and the curator, an AEW show when I went there and did that video in Houston. That's funny you should say that, Jake. I had this funny idea that I saw somebody posting a viral video about them going to their grandma's house and their grandma watching the Cowboys game on a wooden TV, and I was like, oh, that was so funny. What if I could just go there and see if I could watch a game with grandma and then offer a CRT service? Yeah, there you go. Build the house around the CRT. That's what I should do. Let's look at some more stuff on this pattern here, and I'll pull up this. This is a. Keith's always like, "Why are you using that older version of the monoscope pattern?" Come here. Come here. And it still has this linearity circles, which I really like to use. I still like to use this. He's a real dog. Everybody thinks he's so big sometimes. He's really a runt. Like, he's the runt of the litter, but he's a sweet guy, but he snores like crazy. You want to give him a snore? You want some snoring ASMR? He's a good boy. Yeah. Sometimes he'll really snore. Especially... Oh, there he goes. See, he'd fall asleep in your hands. He's hilarious. Just sitting up, too. Good boy. Yeah. Back to this. So this version still has this, which I think is later gotten rid of. I still like this version of the test suite because of that. Of course, it has the monoscope pattern, which is very important. This just has like pin amp issues. You can see how it's like flared out towards the bottom. Let's go to this one. Yeah, I saw that, Belmont. That's cool. I don't know if I'm ready for snow, but I don't know if I'm ready for the cold. All right. See, this just, I mean, it's just a touch of a flare. And honestly, I'm not really going to recalibrate this till I do the cap kit. What time is it? 12 o'clock. Got some time. Let's open this thing up in a second. Maybe we'll start on restoring some of it. I know, I bet you do, Belmont, because you got to have a break from all that concrete. Thank goodness they can't really pour much concrete in the winter, you know? Although they'll probably surprise you, right? Probably surprise a lot of people how much they pour in the winter still. Alright. Like I said, before I really make any adjustments to this screen, I wanted to test it. It's been running for a couple hours now, so it's good. So that's all. You know, I don't really want to adjust it anymore until I service it. Well, let's just open it up now and see what it looks like on the inside. Because there's somebody out there somewhere who wants to see what it looks like. And you fine folks out there, I know you all would like to see it. Can you please do me a favor and hit the like button if you have not already? We're into 1 hour on the show. And let's see. I have no idea how many likes are on there. So if anybody wants to tell me how many likes we got, I see we got about 50-something people in the chat and in the show. So that's awesome. Got myself, got Cole here. We're going to open the CRT live. And you know, sometimes when this happens, this is when my electro boom side happens, right? You might actually see me zap myself today. You know? And I know you like seeing that. My last video was #1. It might hit 10,000 views, which I haven't had in I think I have like one of those, about one of those every 6 months now. So interesting how YouTube's algorithm has changed a lot. And I guess I just didn't play the ball right on some of those things, because 55,000 likes. Oh, that would be awesome. Thanks, Jake. 55, I'm guessing. 55,000 likes. Yes! If there were 55,000 likes, that would be something. That's a good amount. So let's keep it. Smash it for me, folks, if you can. Let's get it to 55,000. That's our goal. 55,000. I don't think I've had 55. I don't know if I have 55,000 likes on all my videos combined. So this is an interesting question. I was thinking about this. Maybe it's got to do with the fascination I have with electricity. Or maybe it's just something that's wrong with me inside. I don't know. You guys can decide as you listen. Alright. I don't know why, but when I was like a kid, I would go, and there's a lot of farms where I grew up, and this would have been early life. So pre-teenage years. This would have been early grade schools, things like that. I used to go out to farms and grab sounds stupid. I used to grab the electric fences sometimes, because they say, oh, it's gonna zap you, and I was like, come on, really? And just to see what it would feel like. And some of them were zap you worse than others, and I don't know what my fascination was with feeling the zap. How psycho is that, though? Literally, did anybody else have any desire to go grab the electric fence that was... It's not like the Jurassic Park fence, okay, folks? This is just meant to scare tiny livestock from... Just zap them. It doesn't hurt them, okay? It doesn't seriously hurt them. It's just... It's a preventative measure. But see, I also used to get the threat of... I used to back talk a lot. I used to back talk a lot, you know. I was a pretty good smartass as a kid. And hey, my mom, she's a boomer. She was pretty old-fashioned. She would this is actually good timing, right? In Christmas Story, that movie, you know, Ralphie has to eat soap after he says the F word. So that's what my family would do, is they would make me eat soap. Or they would stick a bar of soap in my mouth for saying bad stuff and talking back. I got to the point where it didn't bother me. The soap didn't bother me. I literally would just... Like, I would again go on these stupid trips with kids and go to camp. And I would be like, hey, I dare ya. Thanks, 8-Bit. Go back to work. I'll see you. See you soon. We'll be getting together. Yeah, we got a big special live stream coming up over on 8-Bit's channel. Coming soon, folks. Charity. Get ready. December, sometime early December. What is it, the 8th, I think? I think our schedule said. I don't know, 8th or 9th, I'm sorry. Can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's 8th, let's see. Yeah. Special stream. There you go, first announcement. Special stream, not over here, over on 8-Bit's channel. Special stream. 9 p.m. Eastern, probably. Probably, I don't know, I'm not making any promises. This isn't my stream. This is his. He can deal with the blowback. Anyway, we got it open. What was I even talking about? Oh, eating soap. Of course, right? What weirdo wouldn't be talking about eating soap? So yeah, I would go on these trips with kids, and I would be like, hey, you guys dare me to eat some soap? You guys dare me to grab that electric fence? Give me $1 and I'll do it. Right? Real brilliant. Anyway, that's just a little bit of insider knowledge there for you. Man, my desk camera is like glitching to all poop over here. It is just a glitching mess right now, I can tell. This is the back of the CRT. Let me get a little more light. I hope it doesn't glitch out any on me. Let's see. All right, we're good. We're live, folks. So yeah, I mean that survived shipping surprisingly well. There's not an ounce of damage in here. I don't see any evidence in here that anyone has ever been inside this CRT since it was manufactured in 1994. It was sold to me again from a recycler. So that recycler would not have been the original user on it. There was no inventory tag or anything like that on it. And very clean. Relatively dust free. What is the board cooked? I'm sure it's hot. Let's see. There we go. Let's see a little better. Crooked? Yeah. Oh yeah, that happens a lot. See? That's just the way all this wound up being. You see how that's crooked? It's not actually anything that's bent. It's just the way it wound up being put together. Let's take that off. Well, this thing never survives. There's a plastic ring back here. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There we go. Disconnection. Disconnection. There we go. We're disconnecting everything. Okay. C-board has been removed. If we look here. Now the tube's not really got any bent pins or anything. It is, well, maybe it does kind of look bent. Bent up though, which is weird. Yeah, there you have it. Neck board. This is neck board from, and actually you can see this ring that partially survived. Right? It's plastic. Meant to stabilize and hold, but generally this breaks. You can see it's already broken on one of these legs, I believe. Oh yeah. Well, maybe not. Thought it was. Anyway, it'll be broken before I get done with it, I'm sure. So the good thing is, when you look at this neck board, we're good. Let's go ahead and service it. We only got 2 capacitors here. We'll pull them, let's test them, and do with that. So there, well, that's what we'll do. Well, first, that's going to be it for the this part of the PVM for a second. Okay. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and... Oh, I don't think I can service it with that. Let's go ahead and we're going to get some stuff set up here, folks. So don't mind that camera view right there. I'm going to get that all situated for you. We're going to move this guy now. I think I can do all this. Should be able to do all this. There we go. We're getting back to some servicing. I don't know how many times we've done this. Does it matter? What we're going to do now is get this all ready for all of you. We'll put the focus back on there. There we go. And there we have it. I could do so well. I guess I do technically service it with a SNES controller, right? So there's some plastic here. We're gonna take this stuff off. Let me back you out a little. Switch you over to the desktop view. Look at that. How amazing, folks. How lovely is this? We're gonna go right into taking this apart. I'm gonna try to save this plastic. A lot of the times this again just falls apart because it's so old. This is just a plastic piece that goes over our horizontal static convergence adjustment potentiometer, HStat for short. I say that 5 times fast without making yourself dizzy. I'm just gonna run through here and inspect some stuff. Not anticipating seeing anything that's that bad on this side of the board. This side of the board looks pretty good, pretty standard. Flip it over. Know if I can get this out without breaking this thing. It's probably going to be a miracle if that happens. And I don't really like these anyway. I might actually be able to save this one. I doubt it. It always breaks on me. Oh, look at that. Maybe I saved it. Holy moly. That only happens on live TV, folks. Normally this thing would shatter into 1,000 pieces. So there you go. Instant relic right there. Instant pointless relic. Your freshly made tube stabilizer, or what would that be called? I guess neckboard stabilizer holder. Looks like a pretty weird, like... I don't even want to go there. Oh my goodness. This is meant to be a daytime television show, folks. Sorry. Seaboard. So, we have a 250 volt by 4.7 microfarad capacitor here, and this one should be like 16100. Yep, that's what we got right there. If we look on the back, okay, this is a big area of concern on most of these CRTs at this point, and I'll try to let this guy focus in on it. Maybe you can get it a little bit better. That's going to be these points right here on the CRT socket. These get very hot, and the solder, I mean, it's still fine right now, but it's starting to develop a ring around some of these points, and eventually that stuff will break down and you'll have trouble. So to prevent that, we're going to get some fresh solder on there. Okay, do that, and then we'll replace those capacitors. I don't even think I'm going to need to pull out my gun. I don't think I'm going to need to pull out my gun for this one. I think I can get those. I think I can get those caps off there with solder braid, maybe. Shouldn't be an issue. Hey Jake, we do have a CRT Discord at RetroTech, but that's limited. You got to get in on at least the $1 contribution of the Patreon to get in. So there is a small paywall, but that's where, I don't know about modding. If you want to look more into modding, actually I do have some information coming on that soon, but that's not ready today. It's not ready just yet. Let's remove this capacitor over here if we can. Want to get closer? Thanks, Belmont. Do. My iron is on, and it's at 650 degrees Fahrenheit. And just watch as I slide that over top. See how all that solder's just gone. And now that leg is nice and loose. Oops, sorry about that. Let me see if I'm just trying to get as close as I possibly can without like zooming in. Turn that light out. See if that makes any. This might be harder to see without the light actually. What if I go down a little bit? I'm sorry about that glare right there. Let's try over here. Same thing. This is the good solder wick, right? Just watch that solder flow up into that wick. There you go. Wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. See how we wiggle in those? See how we wiggle those right there? Look at that. And then pull it out. This is actually the other one. So this is 705. And since I have this memorized, I'm not going to worry about writing down these caps. We're going to test this cap though. Yep. Hey. We got to test that cap. So that's really it. I know like it seems intimidating, right? To use solder wick. And you saw it. I didn't really do anything that crazy. There it is. There's all the solder. This wick has tons. It's completely saturated with rosin. Okay, this is only 5 feet. I'm afraid I'm running low. I still got some in there. From Chemtronics. Okay. There's the size number 484-5, and this has been one of my better ones that I've actually been able to use. I've had some really bad stuff too that's very ineffective. But look at that. Look how nice that trace came out. No need for desoldering tool on that one. Now you can't get away with this on the main A board, because it's a double-sided board with components on each side. That the Discord's great for things like repairs, and yeah, there's over 600 people in there. You know, that talking about CRTs. It's a CRT based mostly Discord server. That's pretty much selling, repair. I mean, there's off topic stuff. Everything's pretty much CRT related though. That's the main research point. I also publish all my cap kits there. I mean, there's probably like 50 cap kits in there. And then I have like listings for what tools I use, everything I use in there. Let's get this other cap out of here, and then we're going to test these caps and see what kind of condition they're in. So that did really well. You could almost see that solder just gets sucked right up into that like a sponge. Like you had heat activated sponge right down here to get rid of that. And there we go. Let's see if that broke free on both legs. I think this one still has, not this leg, this one over here still has a little bit more solder left on it. Let's see if we can't get that to just melt right on off there. I will add some more if I need to. Wow. Actually, I do need to add a little solder. It's okay though, because this is just going to be a piece of cake. Watch this. I'll heat that up. Move that around a little bit. There we go. Get everything loosened. And we just pop her right out like that. Right? Straighten out that resistor. And this is the 250 volt 4.7 microfarad. It's an 85 degree capacitor. Let's see what this one is. Probably 85 degree capacitor. So we're going to go up in quality because we're going to go up to 105 degree capacitor, longer life. And I will increase this one to a 25 volt. Will not change the voltage or rating on this one, but it will be a smaller capacitor going in here. Now we can test these things with a tool. Here, look at this while I get this tool ready. And then hey, Race. You scruffy looking RGB, welcome in. Definitely does. Okay, we're going to test this with what I've got here is a tester. Okay? Called the GME. In-circuit ESR capacitor tester. Now we could test these capacitors in circuit if we want with this tool, but we don't have to because they're out of circuit. So we can get even better reading out of circuit with them. Whoop! You see there? Okay, this is good. So you see my reading right here in red. Whoops! Man, it went away. I'm at 0.08 or 0.8, 0.9. Oh, now it's moving up. All right. If you look over here on my index, this is a 100 microfarad capacitor right here. So that right here is reading in this area 100. It's right up in here in this yellow, and that means it's sus, okay? If it's green, it's good, but yellow's sus, red's bad. All right? So we're sussy. We're a sussy cat, right? See that? I guess, right? Sometimes it might be a high ESR too, but this is an older cap, so that's pretty good. That seems pretty much right. It's still working, of course, but it's not as effective as hopefully a new one. Let's get a reading on the second capacitor. This is 4.7. Okay, so it's down here lower on the scale, so it can go up higher over here. I'm gonna guess this one's probably still really good. Ooh, that's good. I mean, it's technically still good, but look how it's all the way up here. It's getting right next to the suspect. Right? See that? Right here. Well, it's only right here. So that's these have done their job. They're ready to go though. Okay? We don't want to put these back in there. Let's take a look at some fresh capacitors and what they may read. Okay? Have them right here. Here's a 25 volt replacement for that one, 25 volt 100. The other one is 250 4.7. And I have that. I know I have that. That's a 251. 250 4.7. There we go. Check these out. Let's see. So let's start with the 4.7. The suspect one, or the one we were at, was right here. Okay? And I'm going to go black to negative, red to positive on the leads of this. I think I didn't mention that. Well, goodness gracious. This one's reading all the way up there, and it's brand new. Well, not as high. Hang on, sorry. 2.0. So yeah, that's reading right under. Gosh. So these caps just run higher on the ohms meters. If you want to get into the, if you just want to get into the Patreon, there's a link to it in every video I have. Yeah, you can still use the this while they're in circuit. And I should have taken that test. Yeah, you can follow that link to the Bellman just posted. But I should have tested these in circuit to show you the difference. And if we work on another board, we'll do that before we pull them. Let's see what this one reads at. So that's good. Whoops. Alright, this one is the 100 microfarad. We're at 0.4, which is green. I mean, again, we're right up here in this area. But that's, our other one was right in this area. Okay? So you can see they have worn some, but they were working. That makes sense. That's my two replacement parts. We'll go ahead and install them in the board here. Oh yes, we got to go positive. Long leg is positive. All right. This is a Nishikon, 105 degree. Yep, see that? 105 degrees Celsius. So this cap will, in this application, should last 20 years in a normal and use environment. So there's that one. And then over here is a Worth capacitor, 25 volt 100, so it's an increase in voltage, which is perfectly fine. And I know all these are 105 degree that I ordered. I just don't think it says it on the outside anywhere. But I never order one of those that would be anything less than 105 degrees. There we go. Bend those legs off. You can get as many tools as you want, as they're helpful. They're helpful to just, if you're suspicious something's not working. Let's just get in here and we'll tack these in, then we'll come back and clean these welds up in a second. It's a little friendly little solder down in here, keeping that iron at 650 degrees Fahrenheit, folks. And we're just tacking these lovely little capacitor legs into place. Just gonna tack it just like that, just like that. There we go. We'll come back and we'll trim these puppies, trim these little legs up to appropriate sizes. Just like that. Then we'll come back, touch that solder up just a little, just give it a little touch. That's what I like to do. A little touch right there. Give it a little touch, just like that. And that's pretty much it for, I mean, look at that. That's all you gotta do for the cap replacement. It's just that on just this one board. Again, you want to clean it, check your work, make sure everything's good. There you go. What do you think? There you go. Ain't that sexy? Let's add some color to our lives with a burgundy and red. I mean, it's a same color family, I guess, so not really. Alright. Now, the next step is to go in here and reflow solder on this entire board. Everything. All the points you see. Except for one or two things. I'll tell you, you don't need to worry about the test points. Okay? There's some test points in here. You don't need to really worry about those. You don't need to worry about this. These things that are holding in your cable ties. Because that will fall out. You don't need to worry about resoldering that. That's not a big deal. You don't need to worry about resoldering the dead spots. What do I call a dead spot? Well, it's a spot where there might not be a component. Example. Right here. These 2 points right there. Those are dead spots. There's really nothing there. It's a redesign, or it's in the component was no longer needed. So that's one thing you don't need to worry about. Just anything that has a component in it really does need some fresh solder. See how that solder reacts. If it doesn't react good, you may have to remove all the old solder. Ooh, pop. Snap, crackle, pop. Ooh, goodness, I wish I could get rid of that glare right there. I'm afraid. Oh, there we go. Maybe if I can get a way to hold up this neck board like so. Look, that's better, I think. So we will. You don't want all. I'm gonna blow that smoke at you instead of blowing in my face. You don't want to hold the iron too much on your points because of obviously you're introducing heat again, but especially down in this area where you have plastic on the other side, that neck socket or CRT socket is plastic, so you could actually melt some of that plastic if you kept your iron too hot and you kept it on these points too long. I swear that smoke's going in your face, not mine. Smoke on the water and fire in the skies. Sorry I haven't been able to pay attention to the chat too much last little bit. But what you see here is, I mean, this could save so much trouble, right? You might say, well, what are you doing? This is all preventative. We don't want to have an issue happen later and try to troubleshoot it. I want to make this last as long as possible for whoever ends up owning this in the long run. That's the entire CRT socket. That's it. Now I'll also do other things. I don't so much like hitting up this H-stat. Not this area too much. I mean, you can just touch it just like that. Because again, there's so much plastic in here. You don't want to melt anything. So we don't want to hit that too hard. There's a couple points over here. Just going to tap it. Just give it a little love tap. There we go. It's really the way you know. I don't want to have problems, right? I mean, the thing is I have plenty of things that I've said, oh, it works perfectly, and then I've gone and set it on a shelf for a year or two, and you come back and then something doesn't work, and it's just worn out. Things have worn out. Capacitors wear out. It's like a gradual problem too, where it just normally happens. Or again, you'll have a cold solder joint develop. It happens all the time. Potentiometers will fail. They'll go bad. Heck, other components will fail. Diodes, resistors even fail sometimes. Systematically, I'm going through here and reflowing solder on these points of interest. So this is another piece right here. This is a connection point that that's all it is a connection harness with plastic. So again, I don't want to hold my iron on there for an extended period of time. I just want to get that solder molten and molten enough to do the job. And if it's lousy quality solder, if it's lead-free solder that you're dealing with, or just really bad solder in general, you may, as I said earlier, have to go in and actually remove that solder and replace it altogether. That's not unheard of. If the solder's solid, like this is, good quality, just needs freshening up. It's not really, I know some people, you know, it's not the same as if you chemically removed it all and added just the seam solder, because it is actually chemically a little bit different. But it's a whole heck of a lot better than just leaving it to time. I can hear Cole snoring. I don't know if you can. He's definitely sleeping again. Something about soldering just makes that dog want to sleep. Or maybe it's just the fact that he's a dog. Maybe it's just the fact that he's a silly dog. Alright, we've made it right here. Have I done that one? I think so. Looks like it. I'm gonna hit this. Hit that spot. Hit this one. Yeah, we're really getting it now. Pretty much everything. We got this connection down here. This is just a ground cable for the ground loops. I'm not gonna let that cool. Check out that ground plate. Just a ginormous ground plate here. I think I just broke my own rule and soldered a dead spot there. This one was in good condition for the price I paid. I mean, I guess you probably could. I didn't have any issues with it at all. You may have been able to get away without doing this for a while, but it really doesn't matter. I don't know how much can you expect from a machine that's the age of these. This is 30 years old. It needs some love, you know. That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive that these devices will work after 30 plus years. Right? Let's see what Cole's got going on. Still sleeping. Still sleeping. All right, folks. Need to, I got some message here. Let's see. Make sure it's not something important. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. That was U-Ship driver telling me he's going to drop off a Sony PVM 20 L5, I believe, for servicing this evening. That was who was blowing up my phone as you sit here live. U-Ship driver. Knew that guy would come tonight. It's so ridiculous. What if I wouldn't have made it back from town? Now when you do this, you can just, you know, make sure you don't bridge anything, but if you do, don't worry about it. Just clean it up if you do. Now after I do all this, I'm going to clean this board very thoroughly. Unless I'm out of alcohol, which I know I'm not out of drinking alcohol, I'm out of rubbing alcohol. The great thing about U-Ship is they do a very good job of communication most of the time. These truck drivers do, these small business people do a great job of, you know, communicating with you, person receiving it. Now this is not one, this is right, this is being sent in, so the customer actually arranged for the U-Ship on their end, and then I'm the recipient, and then I'll send it back using U-Ship to the customer, right? So that's, if you're still coming in here and you see this, what's the best bargain monitor? Well, I mean, we've had a very good conversation early on, if you want to go back and watch that, about the 50 series and what it's really worth and why, you know, it just seems like right now there's been quite a few bargains of the 50 series. And that can change, but at the same time, it's always going to be a great bargain, great starting PVM. It's not going to break your bank. Honestly, if you can get one of these for $300, you should be happy. And then you get it serviced. It's a very good deal. And even more than that, I mean, it's definitely worth more than that. I'm just saying exceptional deals can be found still on this line of PVMs, and it offers quite a bit. Oh, that dog is really snoring now. I'm sure somebody can hear. Oh, now these are the test points. I don't care. I guess I'll just go ahead and the jumpers, pretty much, that you can clip to. Oh, that's a good one. You don't have to worry so much about, you know, there's no plastic in these parts really. So you don't have to be as concerned as I was with the neck socket. Well, I mean, I don't know, Conway, you could do that too, but it's not. I think those are good deals too. It just depends also what you want, really, what you're looking for, because a 13-inch, there's not many 13-inch high res or, you know, cool, or there are some cool ones, but there's not that many computer monitors, you know, that are around that, other than like the Commodore stuff. So if you need like a size, if you have a size constraint, plus you have to get something to interface with it. If you just want to go straight, you go from Mr., of course, straight into the PC CRT. And you're really going cheap. Actually, cheaper would be probably Raspberry Pi or something. That's another connection point here that's a plastic. And So you want to limit the amount of heat you put there until that's the area I've been reflowing. This is the area over here that has not been reflowed. Thankfully this dog sleeps with my son most nights. Because man, he can snore. Even more than the bulldogs could. There it is. Oh my word. So impressive snorer. She literally just put a microphone on him. We've become just a soldering and snoring ASMR channel, everybody. This is the announcement. Here's your snore. That's it. Sorry. Man, that was a good one. Good old snore. If you like snoring, or if you snore yourself, please do me a favor and hit that like button so the snorers of the world can unite and snore in one unison. Snore to the rooftops that the CRTs are maybe obsolete. They may be obsolete, but that's okay, we still love them. Whoa, that's a monster snore there, Cole. Dang. It's been a real fun show. I mean, I'm glad I get back to work. I'm going to try to make a video this week. It might be next week. I don't know. Kind of like the momentum of the last one. I really want to talk more about Kaitor's new item in his shop, the 14L5 bracket. That's awesome. And I want to do a video on that. And that's why I'm glad the 20L5 is here. Cool. That's good. Hangia. Yeah, that's a good assessment. He does sound like a desoldering gun. I think he woke himself up for a split second there. I was gonna... You alright, Cole? Yeah, see? So I can't run my Hacko fan. So I'm trying to blow all this rosin fumes away from my area. If I turn that fan on, you'll never get to hear the amazing sounds of Cole snoring. Alright, everything is looking wonderful over here. We've gotten all the way over to this side. I know it seems like it's been 30 minutes, and that's because it has been. But that's okay. This kind of quality wasn't built overnight. It took countless engineers, millions of hours to get to the point where there was an amazing CRT like this one. So we can take our time to make sure we finish up this. it may take a little longer. Dun, 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 dun. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was kind of funny when I was at the ESPN game day in Harrisonburg, down here at JMU. They had the Jonas Brothers singing a concert, and I was like, man, I don't even know a Jonas Brothers song, but they were there. They were there singing away something. How old are the Jonas Brothers? Right? Anyway, they were in town. They actually went to a bar, a dive bar around here, and were serving drinks to people on Saturday night. And it's such a tiny bar they went to in town that you can't fit more than 40 people inside of it. So I imagine it was insanity when people were posting pictures of them online being down there. See, like in my day, it would have been, I don't know, NSYNC. There's that, like, Backstreet Boys dating me. How old I am? I don't even know what the modern equivalency of that would be. Or that's what I would think. Dude, we are almost done. We survived. That's every one of those points. Alright, turn my iron off. Cole's awake. He wants to see what happened. Alright. I didn't know who would be more insulted. Backstreets. Guess they've stood the test of time. NSYNC. Or the Jonas Brothers. Now I need to get some rubbing alcohol. And we'll clean up this board. Alright, we're gonna clean this board and then hopefully it'll work. If you think it'll work, smash the like button. Go ahead and smash the like button, right? Got this, I'm gonna get some lovely cleaning action. Now this board would be great to clean with a ultrasonic cleaner. How cool would that be? Just throw this down in there. Maybe I should get one of those before New Year's is over. If I have any budget left over, that would be a fun item. Could save a little time cleaning these. The problem is you can't fit the big boards. Let's see how you can fit the big boards in there. I guess you could if you stuck it half a board at a time in, maybe. Just look how much solder is coming off that. Look at that. Let me show you. See how that yellows up? Thanks, Daniel. Thank you for coming. Hanging out. Chatting. It's always fun being here, everybody. Man, this is just so dirty. I'll also come through here, and after I do this, I'll come through here with a little brush. Really brush in between all these components and on the board with an ESD brush to clean it some more. There's definitely a leftover layer of solder on it from Sony in the factory. I got a squeak in my table. I'm not sure what it's from. It's driving me crazy. We're gonna see if this all worked out fine. I don't think I need to use another one just yet. I'm gonna go get a beach towel here in a second and just rub it on the back of here after I clean it up. We're gonna get real technical here and just use a beach towel. No, they don't shed like Q-tips. They're actually printer cleaning Q-tips. It's like printer ink cleaning Q-tips. So they don't shed or shred at all. They're actually perfect for the job. They're big. They are big and they do the job. So I'll just hit that up with a little more alcohol. And scrub her dub. Then I can put this towel over top of that, kind of do that. A little bit. Looks pretty good. Turn it sideways. Turn that son of a gun sideways. Stick it straight up. Sorry, that's like the Stone Cold Steve Austin speech I was working on. Oh, yeah, that's a very good job, Belmont. That's a good technique too. There we go. Probably better than my technique, actually. So I'm just taking another brush here that's giving it another spit shine, I guess you could say, right? Let me back up a little bit. Thankfully there's nothing really to worry about knocking off on the back side here, so you don't have to worry about being too aggressive. But that's it. That's the cleaned board now. That's pretty much it. Now the other side, isn't really dirty, but you can just kind of do that with it. Then what I need to do is blow all this mess off. Thanks, Belmont. thank you guys. Does look pretty clean, doesn't it? Now sometimes I like to put this in under my fan for a little while, which I'm gonna go do in a second. I have a high-powered fan in the next room, and I just let it blow on it for a couple minutes just to evaporate everything off the board. And it's not in this room because it would make too much noise. You may hear it still. We'll do that for a second, and then let's get this guy ready. Let's get this guy ready for a test run. Obviously, I'm going to have to flip the camera back around. Let's work on that. Okay, perfect. And we're gonna just stick that neck board right back in here and test it, which I don't really have any reason to think it won't work again, but you never know. There you go. And while I'm doing that, letting that board dry up. It'll only take about another 30 seconds for that board to get finished. Clean up some things. Get some things out of the way. And hopefully we'll have a good working CRT here after this, right? Now that's just one of the most important steps is servicing a board like that. Thanks. Yeah, yo, trust me. Look, if you guys ever have an issue where you work on something and you end up with a problem after trying to fix it, it's much harder when you work on multiple boards at the same time. Because then you're looking at every board. Now if I have an issue, there's a almost 99% chance that it's from the neck board itself. All right, it should be ready, dried up, everything. Here we go. Give it a nice little brush off here with the old paintbrush. Nice old horsehair paintbrush. You always want to check it too to make sure that none of your stuff's like your resistors. They got some long legs sometimes. You don't want to make sure they're not shorting out against any part next to them. Let's do this. So that's the front side. RC board looks pretty good. Back side. Still has lovely fresh solder. How it just kind of shines. We're not really going to be having to worry about any problems. Basically because of that work we just did. And I know it looks like a lot of work, but at the end of the day, what was it? It took us about an hour to do that. Well, yeah, right? We got into this thing about an hour ago. So that process is about an hour. I'd say that's pretty close to average. Sometimes you get into more complex boards. But let's just see. Let's hope that, again, everything's good. because that's the most important thing. Will it work? I'm gonna connect these 2 points, the ground and then main board, high voltage. Then we got our neck board controls up here, colors and everything coming in through there. That's everything. Make sure everything else is good. Looks fine. There we go. Okay. Just want to make sure it's not powered on, and it's not. All right, here we go. Here we go. Come on. Come on, what's your bet? I'm sure it's gonna work, right? Give me a like if you think it's gonna work. You guys are killing me. Your joints are that healthy. All right. Plastic pieces that are not needed go in the plastic collection there for the RetroTech library. Let's see. Everything sounds normal. Let's switch over to desk camera. And voila. There we go. We have picture. There we go. I never had a doubt. So that's really a whole way to restore that board, right? The other passive components on that board are not going to wear out the same as a capacitor would, if they'll even show up. Sometimes these thank you everybody, your encouragement has helped me get through it. Because sometimes you gotta have people just there to encourage what you're doing, help you out. I realize that there's a lot of people who talk to me and ask about stuff, and a lot of times it's really just the fact that I can sit there and offer them some encouragement on the process that they're working on. There we go. And hopefully together make it through this crazy situation. All right, look at that. Oh, baby. It's funny, I need to definitely do the old... Oh, I can't play it from that view. Anyway, we are good. I can't play from that view. Excellent. So that's board one. Now, what I would do after this is I would go in normally and restore the power supply next. Generally speaking, after I did that one, that's what I'd move on to normally. That would be the power supply. But I don't have time to do that right now. Hi. There we go. That's better. But if you want to go back and check out everything we've done with this one so far, that's a cool little look at the PVM today. We went through all the differences in the 50 series. Oh, yeah, the JVC cards. Yeah, Ruben. There's somebody on there that does a good job. It's, yeah, in Australia. Let's see if we can find it. I'm not, it's been so many years ago since I got that. I can't imagine anybody else making them. But they are open source, I believe. I think it's the best is still, let's see, TMH card. Retro Upgrades makes one. But anybody who makes these, this is from the United Kingdom. They do a good job too. I would just not worry about buying the original. But heck. Oh, those are sold. Sorry. I was looking at solds. We have for sale, not sold. Yeah, retro upgrades. I see retro upgrades here in the United States. Having them for sale from the UK. They'll do fine. He does a good job too. Jams is the one in Australia. I haven't seen. If you find his listings, those are good also. He's the one who originally came up with that. That's cool. Yeah. I'm glad you guys had a good time. I had a good time doing it too. It's good to get back in the swing of things a little bit. I'll definitely be back later on this week. Thursday probably, like normally expecting. And I'm not sure what we'll have, because I got quite a few things to do. We could continue on with this restoration, or I may be able to bring some more highlights of a different monitor, kinda, that is on that budget friendly side. I think I have a few more of those. Get a few more ideas, a few more things to talk about with you guys on that front. That's it. Jams. Yeah, I've got a bunch of his stuff here, and it's all been good. Everything's been good on those. And if you're talented enough, I think you could probably make your own. Cole's still down there snoring for everybody. One less snore from him. Yeah, 2 hours. We've gotten a 2-hour stream in. Pin amp issues. How do I clear them up? I will. Well, I need to do the main board and power supply restorations. Then I'll adjust it. Because honestly, if one of those, all it would take is like one or two of those deflection capacitors to just be out of spec enough that my adjustment could be. I'll have to readjust afterwards, and it's kind of a waste of time to do it till after that. So what I would go in there and do is I would get into the sub menu of this by pressing menu and degauss and enter, and then and then I'd go up here, I'd go over to like pin phase and pin amp, and I'd adjust these up and down till I got that to look better. It probably needs a bunch more of adjustments like that. Alright, like there's a bunch of things, and then I would hit degauss to enter and write it. Hit it one more time, save your info, then press that input button again, and you get right out of the menu. And there you go. That's how you like save settings and change them and stuff. That's a real quick look at that. But I have to do, before I do that, I really need to get in there and do those other restorations to the other two boards, because it wouldn't be really beneficial. I've done that before to ones, and it was a complete waste of time. The monitor looked so bad after I changed the caps that it took me longer to recalibrate it after, because I changed so much to begin with to try to make it look good with bad caps. So that's it. Thank you guys and girls, everybody who was out there with us today. I appreciate your time. I really do. Really enjoyed this. If you want to go back and check out anything from our discussions of our discussion on which PVMs are the best, to start with, I think the 50 series again is a great bargain PVM most of the time, and it's a very good CRT. It's great in performance-wise, and analog, and does a lot of good things. Some of them do more than others. So if you need more information on that, please check that out. If you do want to go help out the channel, please definitely consider jumping on the Patreon. I appreciate everybody who already is on the Patreon. I know a lot of you guys already are. But that's a way you can get in, and you can actually buy PVMs, CRTs. Not really for me so much anymore. The whole community. There's an entire community over there on Discord, and those people sell and try to help other people out getting their first CRTs. But also, I share mostly on my Patreon. I also do try to share a lot of these CRTs, like this one that I find on eBay that I'm not going to buy, just to help other people find theirs that I think I kind of vet a little bit. And I said, this looks like a good idea. So anyway, I really appreciate anybody who's on there. I know a lot of you guys are. And I, again, thank you for your time today. I will see everybody next bunker visit, which should be Thursday. And it'll be about noon Thursday. So you guys have a wonderful couple days till then. And I will see you on Thursday. Thanks again, everybody, for jumping in here. And have